Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
So
Krishna Krishna.
anyway, the point was that devotee, because he has a strong taste, he is attracted for all activities of bhakti. But for some of the activities, he is even more spontaneously attracted. Like, for example, he likes very much kirtan or deity worship or cooking for the deities or reading Srimad Bhagavatam, because we are individuals and it's normal that we will be as the individuals attracted to one or the other activity of devotional service more than the others. But just because everything is connected with Krishna and the devotee already has a strong attraction to Krishna, that's why everything connected with Krishna is dear to the devotee. He is getting taste. On the next level of Sakti, we are going to speak more about this, about the attachment directly to the Supreme Lord. This answering the question? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So basically, after that, Shiva Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, from this level onwards, we will see he is giving little bit technical explanations, intellectual explanations, but more or less from Ruchi onwards, Sakti, Bhava, Prema, we will just see that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is more or less just trying to describe what's going on with the devotee after that, what's going on in the mind of the devotee. So until here, we could say in the process of our advancement in bhakti, there is very much like intellectual fight. Our intelligence, with the help of transcendental knowledge, is fighting against our mind, who is a very extremely attached to the material sense gratification. But once the devotee establishes himself on nishta and he develops a strong taste to devotional service, his mind more and more becomes his friend. And once the mind becomes friend, actually all the feelings, all the emotions, everything that is in the mind actually becomes favorable for bhakti. So then devotional service becomes very, very, very easy. And basically now what follows is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving a description how the devotee on the second level of Ruchi, how is he thinking, how is he feeling, how is he willing, what's his internal life basically on this level. Some of the things that we can mention before reading this is that devotee is constantly repenting again and again that he is very much unqualified, that he wasted so much time before getting serious about Krishna consciousness. He repents again and again. Also, devotee, he really becomes like a honeybee, and he's trying constantly to look for opportunities for getting, experiencing again and again the taste from different activities in bhakti. He's looking for opportunity for associating with very advanced devotees. He's constantly eager to understand more about books like Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this becomes, we could say, his life. He's constantly going deeply into these activities. He wants to spend big time of his life in the holy dham, seeing that this is extremely favorable place for advancing spiritually, and so on and so on. So now we are going to read something and just see what it's all about.
Yeah, from now on we'll be just more or less just reading through, because till now these pages, bhajana, kriya, narta nivriti, we could say something from personal experience, but from nishta, and especially now ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema, these are completely theoretical things, and the best we can do is, at least myself, just we can just try to appreciate and try to gain some at least theoretical glimpse of understanding. The main thing to gain is basically appreciation. So the devotee thinks, oh friend, oh, he actually speaks to somebody. Oh friend, abandoning the nectar of Krishna's names, why are you engaged in useless talks of family pursuits, of security and enjoyment? So this is useless for this type of devotee. What can I, which basically takes most of our life. What can I say to you? I myself am so wicked. Though I received the precious jewel of bhakti by the mercy of the spiritual master, I'm so unfortunate that I kept it tied in the hem of my cloak. Not knowing its value, I have been searching out a cracked cowrie, I don't know what's that, a tiny spot of false happiness on the shore of the ocean of material engagements. Wandering here and there, I have passed the years of my life in vain, not practicing any activity of bhakti. I have simply displayed lethargy. Alas, such am I, or my sense of taste, that I lick up bitter tasting, deceitful, profane gossip, like nectar, and remain apathetic to hear the names, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. So this is our tragedy, that we are spontaneously attracted to things that are harmful to us, that cause us suffering, but we like them. How unfortunate I am. When I start to hear about the Lord, I comfortably fall asleep, and at the opportunity for vulgar discussion, I prick up my ears and become wide awake. In this way, I have always contaminated the assembly of all the devotees. What sinful acts have I not performed, simply for the satisfaction of my insatiable belly, even in the decrepit old age? I do not know for how long and in what type of hell I'll have to suffer for all my activities. In this way, repenting his previous state of consciousness, someday, at some place, the devotee becomes like a bee, tasting the nectar of the fruit of the Madhurya kadambini. So this was chapter 5. And now we continue chapter 6.
Maybe I can just say something. It's very interesting how this devotee, he is thinking, yes, I am so low. When the opportunity for Krishna Katha appears, I am just immediately falling asleep. And when the opportunity for gossiping appears, immediately I'm so much awake and I'm ready to listen. And this is definitely true for us, for our case, in our level of existence. But this devotee, he's definitely not on this level, but we can see he has so much humility. Like this is one of the 6 symptoms of surrender in Sharanagati. So much humility that this devotee considers himself extremely neophyte, extremely beginner in devotional practice. Although he is not at all beginner, he is already very, very elevated. Like we know, Ruchi is after Nishta. So that means this devotee is extremely fixed already in the practice of devotional service. He passed successfully through all the obstacles, through all the anarthas, through all the levels of unsteady bhajana kriya, like we were speaking about, utsahamai, bewildered intelligence, the byproducts of bhakti, all these things, he went through them successfully. He is a winner. And because he acquired these amazing qualities and this amazing humility, that's why he considered himself being on this not really advanced position. But actually, he is already on a very elevated position.
Yeah, but that's also like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also, when he was leaving this world, he asked the devotees to sing this bhajan, Hari Hari Vifale Janamaguna, which basically says the same thing. And when the devotees, when this devotee, he sang, who was singing, when he sang this, the line, Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Nabaji. I received this rare human form of life, but I have not worshipped Radha Krishna. At this moment, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was lying on his bed. He stood up. No, he didn't stood up. He was sitting, and then when he heard this, he did something like this, like he took this as a description of his own life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, if we read his bhajans, he has the same mood. Narottam Das Thakur, well, this is his bhajan, Hari Hari Bifara. So this is not something uncommon for our acharyas, this mood, Lava Samai. And also Madhavendra Puri, when he was leaving his body, he displayed similar mood. And then his so-called disciple, Ramachandra, he misunderstood his guru, and then he got in trouble.
So can we say actually that then this is the mood through which you can actually relish bhakti? If you don't acquire this mood, if you don't have this mood, you cannot actually enter deeply into bhakti.
It seems so. Well, we can say many things, but whether we can experience this, that's another story. But yeah, it seems like this because it comes again and again, consistently in the example, in the writings, in the songs of our acharyas. Okay, so Asakti is the next level, next theoretical level.
That's the sixth shower of nectar.
So the acharyas explain that when Ruchi becomes very deep, then one attains Asakti or attachment. And the difference with the Ruchi is that Ruchi is a attraction towards the process of bhakti, and Asakti is already affection for the Lord himself. That's how they explain it.
So Asakti is like a deeper taste?
Taste. But also,
but it's not only about things connected with Krishna, rather to directly to Krishna himself.
Yes, of course, the devotional service and Krishna are non-different, but somehow, as I understand it, at one point, when the devotee hears and chants about the Lord, at one point he, at least this is the description here, Asakti polishes the mirror of the heart to such a condition that the reflection of the Lord suddenly seems to be almost visible there. So the glimpse of the Lord is attained on the level of bhava, but before that it's almost there. So Ruchi purifies the heart to such an extent that the mirror of the heart is ready to accommodate the Lord. And through the devotee sees through the chanting of the holy name, somehow he realizes that the holy name is not different from Krishna, something like this. That's how I understand it. He realizes, okay, actually I'm worshipping Krishna. That's Krishna. I'm chanting his name. It's not just the nectar of the holy name, like Hare Krishna, it's so nice and we all in ecstasy, but no, this is, the name belongs to a person, and this person is Krishna. So you see through, okay, this is actually the object of my meditation. This is my beloved, my best friend, whatever mood he has.
So it becomes even more personal. In this
yes, becomes more personal. And then so Ruchi and Asakti, they have both components. On the level of Ruchi, there is also affection for the Lord, of course. But it is, comparatively to Asakti, it's less. And on the level of Asakti, there is also attraction for the process of devotional service. But on the level of Asakti, it is, this attraction is less than the attraction to, I mean, we explain these things very mechanically. They don't really, because attraction to the holy name is the same as attraction to Krishna. There is no difference. Anyway, my point was that there is always an overlap. All these processes, all these stages, they're overlapping. And the prema, for example, is shraddha, which becomes very refined, very, very solid. Shraddha is the first level. It's the same thing when it becomes very condensed and very purified, is prema. So in the same way, we have bhava, the active principle is bhava. We have this bhava from the very beginning. We have taste from the very beginning, but it is not so intense that you call it taste. When it's not so intense, when it's not so strong, you call it Shraddha, Bhajana, Kirtanartana, Vritti, Sadhu Sangha, Nishta. And when the taste reaches certain level, then you call it Ruchi. And the same with Bhava. When the Bhava reaches this level, then we call it Bhava. But before that, it's also Bhava, because there is nothing else. It's just love of God. There is nothing else that can move us forward. But it's not called like this. All right, so the difference between, the unique feature of Asakti is that one of the symptoms is compared to Nishta, is that when we are on the level of Nishta, then a devotee at the stage of Nishta cannot detect how and when his mind becomes distracted towards material thoughts. It happens without, the devotee is not aware how this happens. He's not conscious about it. So you're thinking about Krishna, you're chanting the holy name, you're chanting Gayatri.
Suddenly,
you start your Gayatri, the Brahma Gayatri,
in a very concentrated manner.
And then you start chant 1, 2, 3, and then the next moment when you wake up, you're already on 7 Gayatri. So like 5 minutes just pass by on the autopilot, and you just thinking about something else, but the automatic function of the mind did the chanting, but you're not conscious about it. So on the level of Nishta, this is the situation. But on the level of Asakti, it's the other way around. Even if by chance the mind is occupied with material thoughts, automatically, just like a compass, it goes always from the north, automatically the mind in very short time turns again back to Krishna. That's Asakti.
So it's the other way around.
Yes, and this is what you said, what Tulsi Prabhu mentioned. Then the mind actually has become our friend. The mind, when we wake up in the morning, the mind will not
say, hey, which movie we are going to watch today.
Or even if we watch a movie or do something nonsense, the mind will actually interrupt our so-called sense gratification, and he will actually spoil it. He'll tell us, actually, you're supposed to chant Hare Krishna. That's what you're doing now. It's not proper. And then the mind will start chanting to us Hare Krishna, some tune of our guru or of Prabhupada. So then the mind becomes our friend. This is how Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. The mind can be the best friend and the worst enemy. So on the level of Asakti, the mind is already a friend. To almost like
the war is over.
Yeah, it's pretty much over on the level of Nishta already, but more on the level of Ruchi, and Asakti is already.
Totally.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that also Shiva Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Asakti is just like a cluster of buds unfurling from the main stem of the creeper of devotion. Shortly, some of these buds may blossom into the flowers of bhava, or loving sentiments, and other may mature into the fruits of prema, or love of God. So basically, Asakti, you're almost there. The buds of prema are already there on the creeper of devotion.
Well, in the Jaiva Dharma, we mentioned this in one of the previous lectures. In Jaiva Dharma, there is a description of this Vaishnava Das, who was Sannyasi Thakur before, and then he got the name Vaishnava Das. He got initiated, and he attained Bhava for 3 days. So all these levels, I guess he was not. He was not on each level for any amount of time. He just went seamlessly from from whatever level he was, he went all the way to Baba, like.
Very fast.
So all these levels, as Acharyas explained, they are for people who actually commit offenses for us. Because we commit offenses, therefore, for us are all these levels. Normally, we go through them because
Gradually,
because we're stubbornly committing offenses. But for serious practitioners, it can take a few days. Prabhupada said it can take one moment. So next, there is a few descriptions of the activity and the mood of this devotee. I guess we can read them on our own. Everybody can read. I won't read all of them. I'll read just some of them. So this devotee, going elsewhere, seeing an assembly of devotees, this devotee on the level of asakti, he will say, "Oh, today my life will be successful, for the association of devotees will destroy all my sins." So this is what this devotee thinks. He doesn't think, "Oh, again these neophyte devotees." But this lecture is so boring, and the kirtan is. I heard this so many times. I would rather go and
do something more practical.
Talk some prajapa with my friends and turn the temple in a social club, Like, thinking in this way, okay, he thinks today my life will be successful. Thinking in this way, he will pay repeated obeisances to them again and again, falling like a stick, like Dandavat. Being welcomed with affection by the most erudite Mahabhagavat, this is the guru in this assembly, the crown jewel of all devotees. He will sit before him and he will humbly begs from him with tears in his eyes, with tears. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the devotees are always crying, like all the time. And our hearts are so dry and hard that, I don't know, can we remember the last time when you cried? for any reason. We don't speak even about material reasons, about spiritual reasons, for material reasons. When was the last time when we cried for material reasons? Like
maybe when they give us a fine in the subway for crossing without ticket, then we start crying.
Even then you will cry. It was so anyway, dry hearts. So he humbly begs with tears in his eyes, "Oh Master, you're the crown jewel of doctors, physicians able to eradicate the grave material disease afflicting the living entities in the three worlds. I'm the most fallen and deprived person." So the devotee on the level of asakti thinks he's the most fallen and deprived person. "Please take my pulse." This is how the Ayurvedic doctors, they diagnose people.
Mm-hmm.
"And diagnose my malady and advise me what medicine and diet to take. By that miracle drug, give me my desired nourishment." Overjoyed with the merciful glance that Mahabhagavata and his nectar of sweet words, he will remain a few days to serve the devotees' lotus feet. So this is what he does. Sometimes wandering in the forest, absorbed in emotion, observing the movements of the animals and birds, he will intuitively interpret them as signs of mercy or punishment of Krishna upon himself. He will think, if Krishna is showing his mercy to me, then the antelope in the distance will come toward me 3 or 4 steps. If he's not showing mercy, the antelope will turn away. This is like materialists. They you know what they do? Like, she loves me, not the same thing. But that's the spiritual origin of this thing. So this is already a little odd, a little strange, no? From material perspective. If somebody sees this scene, he'll think that if he's a normal person, so-called karmi, he'll think this person is mad, crazy.
Still a little bit.
Well, we're going gradually towards
progressively.
because what I want to say is that here already the acharyas point out that we have to choose. Do we want to be advanced devotees, to love Krishna, and to look strange in the eyes of the materialists? Do we want to pay this price, or we just want to be normal, regular devotees and be accepted as bona fide part of the karmic society, so that nobody laughs at us, nobody mocks us, nobody thinks we are crazy and strange? So are we ready to pay the price? Because you cannot have both. You cannot have both. You have to choose. You have to take a stand. And next, the last paragraph from this chapter. Remaining in his house with a worn face, like a miserly, wealthy merchant, greedy for treasure, he will be absorbed in thought all day, while dreaming, standing, or sitting, where I am going, what I'm doing, how will I get my hands on my desired object. This is what he thinks all the time, and he is very dejected. When asked by his relatives what is the matter, he'll sometimes act like mute, like he doesn't hear anything, like a dumb person. At other times he'll pretend that he's normal. His friends will apologize. Recently he has become scatterbrained. He was not like this. He's a normal person, but recently something happened and his mind is absent. His neighbors will conclude that he's an idiot by birth. So that's the price we have to pay if we want this. Our neighbors will think we're idiots. So we're ready to pay this price? It's not a big price, actually. It's nothing. What do we care about opinion of materialists? Actually, just side point, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it is stated that this is the reason why, this is when Krishna gives himself to the devotee. No, this is when Krishna gives pure bhakti to his devotee, because by pure bhakti, the devotee can control Krishna. And usually when we explain this point, we say that why Krishna doesn't give often pure bhakti? Why? He gives easily liberation. He gives easily material facilities. But pure bhakti he gives rarely. Why?
Say because he'll become dependent on his devotee.
Usually this is the answer what we get. But in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni says, no, that's not the proper answer. This is just, well, he doesn't say it directly, it's not the proper answer. But
Krishna
he says,
doesn't have a problem.
He says that's actually, Krishna doesn't have a problem to be, Krishna actually he loves to be controlled by his devotee. So he's not against, he's looking for this. He wants to be controlled by the law of his devotee. So why then he gives rarely this pure love? What's the real reason behind? And then I don't remember Narada Muni or the Vishnudutas, they explain this point. They say, well, Krishna gives this to these rare devotees who are completely oblivious to the opinions of the world. To those devotees, he gives pure devotions. So if you cannot pay the price, then he won't give it to us. So the followers of his neighbors will conclude that he's an idiot by birth. The followers of Mimamsa, the philosophy of Jaimini, will consider him a fool. Why they all think that he's a fool? Because these people, the Mimamsakas, they think that the highest information of the Vedas is that we have to perform pious activities and enjoy all the pleasures that the universe can offer. And because this devotee, he's not active, he doesn't perform pious activities. He's just sitting at home and getting more and more depressed. That means he's a fool. These are the people that Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashchitaha veda vadarata partha nanyat astiti vadina, etc., etc. So these are the people who think that because Krishna says, because they think that they are attached to sense gratification. Therefore, they think that the Vedas are teaching only sense gratification, how to perform pious activities to enjoy in heaven. So those who study Vedanta will consider him illusioned because
he's Brahman. Why he has to
exactly
suffer?
Yes, this was Ramachandra's argument, stupid, foolish argument that he gave to Madhavendra Puri, to his guru. So therefore, they will consider him illusion, and the practitioners of pious activities will say he's misguided. Same like the Jaimini. The devotees will say he has attained the essential truth. So the devotees will know.
So everybody thinks he's crazy, but devotees, they know, oh, he is crazy.
Spiritual craziness.
Yes.
This is he has attained the goal. And the offenders will say he's a pretender. So we should be careful not to be the offenders here. So we better watch out. Don't judge the devotees. But the devotee, oblivious of respect and disrespect, so he's oblivious even to the respect that he will get from the devotees. So he's oblivious to this. Having fallen into the current of the great celestial river of attachment to the Lord, will simply continue in the same manner. He doesn't care, doesn't give a damn what they think, because he's already somewhere else. All right, so this is the end of the 6th chapter, and next time we will cover the 7 and 8, and it will be also like today, basically reading through, because this is already Bhava and Prema. What can we comment so much? We want to appreciate. With the utmost humility, we want to read through and try to appreciate. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Om Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai.